Before I said our nervous system is like a huge library with many, many floors. And our personal life biography is written, let's say, from floor number 6 to floor number 12. But there are many more. And so when let's say, from conception on, my whole system developed, my whole body, emotions, and my nervous system. When I grew up, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, until today, there's a whole ladder, and I call this the escalator of my own development. And the more energy, and that escalator flows up through our spine, and it creates the function, as you said, of the frontal cortex. The neocortex energizes the brain. It's like the chief function in the center of our body. Trauma reduces that. Early attachment trauma reduces that. All kinds of abuse. So the pressure of water that energizes us gets reduced. So we have less inner coherence and more fragmentation. And I sometimes say to groups that I speak to, like, okay, would you talk to a baby in the same way as you talk to your business partner? And then most of the people say, no, of course not. I say, right, but why of course? Why is that so clear? And then it's beautiful. Sometimes we do these exercises, like the energetic exercises, to see what happens in a person's nervous system. And he or she like imagines there's a baby on my arm, and I tune in with that baby. Immediately, our whole nervous system goes into a different internal state. So a father can speak to a baby in an appropriate rhythm, voice, attunement, language, pulse. Why? Because the part of me that can feel the baby and the adult part of me doesn't mean that I become a baby, but I'm still a grown-up person. I know how to maybe feed the child and wash the child and hold the child and embrace it. And I feel the level of development that the child's at. And so there is this function of two. And what I heard you describe, and that's also because it's very important how we deliver and the information or the kind of intervention as a therapist or a facilitator, and which channel we use, and if we are attuned to the right level. That's why I often say a therapist is the external resource that the couple doesn't have. So when two people come to you, you actually infuse wakefulness and a resource that is not in the system in order to resolve that issue. And so that's responsible, because if we are not able to do it, it's responsible to bring in support. That's fantastic. And I see you in the interaction also as being the escalator to channel the development from one level to the next. It's like the escalator at the airport that takes me from the arrival hall to the departure hall. I mean, maybe not right now, but sometimes in earlier times there were still flights. And so the escalator takes us from one floor of development to the next floor of development, so that we can literally integrate what causes the abusive behavior into functional adult development, so that it can join the energy that energizes my frontal cortex, and it's not jeopardizing it or boycotting it, because it needs attention. And so I love when you said that it's not only the confrontation or the support, it's also the way of delivering it. And that comes back to the streaming. If you, as the therapist, can feel your client, then the confrontation doesn't create distance. Then it creates an awakening process. And I think that's beautiful. Yeah.